This video will show how to use the table feature of the TI84 to factor trinomials in the form x squared plus bx plus c, where a, the coefficient of x squared, is equal to 1. For the first example, we want to factor x squared minus 11x plus 28. If the trinomial does factor, it will factor into two binomial factors. And since the factors of x squared, the first term, are x and x is the first term of both binomial factors. And now to find the second terms of the binomial factors, we need to find the factors of c that add to b, or in our case, we need to find the factors of c, which is equal to positive 28, that add to b, which is negative 11. And this is not always an easy question to answer, which is why we can use the table feature of the TI84 to help. Going to the calculator, we press y equals, and we enter c divided by x, or in our case, 28 divided by x. And now before we go to the table, let's make sure the table is set up correctly. So we press the second window for the table set. We want the table to start at 0, so we press 0 and then enter. We want the change in the table to be by ones, which it is, and we also want the independent and dependent variables to be on automatic, which they are. If they weren't, we would highlight automatic and then press enter. And now we'll grow the table by pressing second graph. And every time the x and y values are integers, the x and y values are factors of positive 28. So we can use the table to find the factors of positive 28 and then determine which factors have a sum of negative 11. So notice how in this row here, x is 1 and y is 28. 1 and 28 are factors of 28, but notice how the sum is 29. We need a sum of negative 11. If we go down to the next row, 2 and 14 are factors of positive 28, but the sum is 16, not negative 11. If we keep going, notice how the next two factors are 4 and 7. 4 times 7 is positive 28, but 4 plus 7 is positive 11, not negative 11. So at this point, we probably recognize we need two negative factors that will give us a product of positive 28 and a sum of negative 11. So if we go up in the negative direction, here we have the factors of negative 1 and negative 28. Here we have the factors of negative 2 and negative 14. If we keep going, here we have the factors of negative 4 and negative 7. So the product is positive 28. And notice negative 4 plus negative 7 is negative 11. These are the two factors we need to factor the given trinomial. So using the table feature, we found that negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28, and negative 4 plus negative 7 is equal to negative 11, and therefore the two binomial factors of the given trinomial are x minus 4 and x minus 7. And remember, the order of these factors don't matter. For our second example, we're asked to factor x squared plus 2x minus 48. Again, if this does factor, it will factor into two binomial factors, where because the first term is x squared, which is equal to x times x, the first term in each binomial factor is x. And now to find the second terms of the binomial factors, we need to find the factors of c, which is negative 48, that add to b, which is positive 2. So going back to the calculator, we press y equals, and again we enter c divided by x, which for the second example is negative 48 divided by x. Now I go back to the table by pressing second graph and look for the factors of negative 48 that add to positive 2. So here we see the factors of negative 4 and positive 12, which multiply and give us negative 48, but negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. We need a sum of positive 2. So let's go ahead and keep looking. These two factors won't work. These two factors won't work. These two factors won't work. So let's scroll down and look for some additional factors. Well, notice here we have positive 6 and negative 8, which give a product of negative 48, but positive 6 plus negative 8 is negative 2. We need a sum of positive 2. So let's go ahead and keep going. And notice here we have 8 and negative 6. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48, and 8 plus negative 6 is positive 2. These are the two factors we need in order to factor the given trinomial. So again, from the table we found that positive 8 times negative 6 is negative 48, and positive 8 plus negative 6 is positive 2, the value of b, which means one binomial factor is x plus 8, and the other is x minus 6. I hope you found this helpful.